Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Baby Tech Hub. So today I am here to discuss about the concept of subnetting. This is 1.6 in the Cisco syllabus. If you go, you can see it is mentioned over here that configure and verify IP before addressing and subnetting. So today I am starting the subnetting. Subnetting is one of the most important concept in this IP address. So first the thing we have to understand what is subnetting. Second thing, why subnetting? And next we will, so is there any benefit of using the subnetting or not? So what is subnetting? Suppose I'm giving an example over here. Suppose in an organization, in a college, what happens? You think about 500 students are there. And at a time, all students come for the class. Then what will happen? It will be a mess because the capacity for 500 students is very tough to manage these 500 students. There will be lots of noise, that is administration will be very much tough. So what happens, what the organization of the college is doing, they are dividing the time schedule, yes, and they are mentioning the class hours. And what happens, they're saying, suppose this is morning 7:30 to 9:30 slot. In this slot some specific classes will going on. In this slot, some specific batch will run. In this slot, some specific batch will run. So what will happen? This 500 students can very nicely accommodate in the small place and in a maintained way. There will be no chaos, no disturbance in the classes. They will get the proper trainer also, their professors also. That means what we are doing, we are just providing services to these 500 students only, but what we are doing, we are managing them in a better way. Is it same way? If there is a network and there is lots of host is there and all the host comes under the same network, then there is a big mess. It is very tough to manage every host, is it? So that's why there is a concept is developed that is called the subnetting. So what the subnetting is doing? Subnetting means dividing a large network into smaller number of networks. Now the question is that you are dividing means, are you using a hammer? No, we are not using a hammer. What we are doing, we are just logically dividing a large network into smaller number of networks, and this process is called as subnetting. So what is subnetting? The process of dividing a large network into smaller number of subnet is called as subnetting. The moment we are dividing a large network, we get several small networks. Every small network, we call it as a subnet. And this subnetting concept actually developed by IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, in 1985, and they mentioned it in RFC 950 as Internet Standard Subnetting Procedure. Is it? If we go for the subnetting, what we have seen, we can save the public IP address. So here is a question, why this subnetting came in picture? You can see what happens. Previously, IP addressing concept was classful. Is it? We are having three classes A, B, C used for networking. You see, if I take a class C IP address, this 24-bit is in network and 8-bit in host. So if I calculate the host for this network, then 2 to the power 8 is 256 host. Suppose an organization need only 50 IP address. That means 206 hosts are wastage. Fine. Among 206, of course, we can use 204. Two hosts we cannot use. That is NID and BID. So you think that is 204 host IP address is wastage. Now think a situation. What I am doing, I am breaking this host number in two parts. Suppose I am taking, here is the 2 part from 8 and here is I am keeping 6. Later on I will say what is this 2. How we can take this 2, 3, 4, how there is some rules, some mathematical calculation is there. And we call it as a subnet bit. And when we are adding this subnet bit, so what will happen? Our network prefix is extended. So that's why 24 plus 2, 26. So I have mentioned it extended network prefix. So how many host number is remaining? 6. Now if I go for the total host, 2 to the power 6 is 64. I am minus 2 for valid. That is 2. If an organization need the 50 host, only 12 host addresses are remaining. You think previously it was 204 wastage of IP, and here you see only 12. Which situation is better? I think this situation is better. That means you see, if I go for this subnetting concept, this is the concept of subnetting. We just break the host bits, and some bits we transfer to the network and we make it extended network prefix. A lesser number of bits are in the host. And if I go for that, then you can see we can prevent wastage of public IP address, or we can say the proper utilization of the public IP address. Now the question is that why this situation came? Actually IPv4 32-bit, and when it came in the picture in the world, at that moment the scientist or researcher could not predict that what would be the world's network infrastructure, what is nowadays. So they could not experience that the network will be so large. So now what happened, after some time, there is a lack of IP address in the industry. So what do you mean by lack of IP? Lack of IP means a person want an internet connection, getting not an internet connection. Okay. So what will happen after certain time, world has been experienced that there is a shortage of IP address. So what to do? So one thing, why not to go for a solution? So they came up with two types of solution. One is a long-term solution. Another is your short-term solution. When we go for the long-term solution, then 32-bit is increased to the 128-bit address space and nothing but IPv6 was the suggestion. But what the people will do, the short-term solution means the world is with IPv4. What technologies can be implemented so that till IPv6 come in the picture, the industry can run with the IPv4. Am I clear? Why? Because to bring IPv6 in picture, at that moment, it took lots of time. But during this period, how to manage the IP address? That means we had to think about some technologies through which we can manage with the IPv4 addresses. At that time, IETF suggested two solutions. One is the net and another is nothing but our subnetting. Am I clear? So subnetting and net, sorry, both concepts who brought in the market IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, developed these two concepts to prevent the wastage of IPv4 address so that till IPv6 come in the market, industry can manage the network with IPv4. Am I clear? So what was the cause of subnetting? The cause of subnetting was not just to prevent IPv4 from wastage. Okay. So next is, what is the benefit? So there are lots of benefits. First, better administration, what I told you at the very beginning. It is very good to manage lesser number of hosts rather in a large network. Next, improve network performance. Of course, the network is small, so the data transmission speed will increase. Third, to save the public IP. Just I told you what is the purpose of developing this concept. And this implementing security. Network is small. It is very easy to secure my network and reduce network congestion, because data traffic no need to travel a long way crossing several routers because my network is very less. Is it clear? So these are the several benefits of using the subnet. So right now we believe in subnetting till IPv4. Now, question is, what are the types of subnetting? Subnetting are two types. One is the FLSM, another is the VLSM. Fixed length subnet mask and variable length subnet mask. That means what happened, we have to understand in brief. If we go for the FLSM, if I break my large network into smaller number of subnet, so length of every subnet will be fixed. So we call it as a fixed length subnet mask. But if we divide my large network as per the need of the industry, maybe someone is saying I need a 32-bit length subnet, someone is saying I need 64-bit, someone is saying no, I need the 16. Is it clear? 16 subnets. So that is the thing. What happens as per the demand of the industry, if we create the subnet, that means our subnet mask is also varying. This type of subnetting is called as VLSM, variable length subnet mask. The subnetting where we get the fixed length subnet, that is FLSM. The subnetting where we get the variable length subnet, that is called the VLSM. Okay, later on we'll discuss in detail about those. Now here is a question. Ways of doing subnetting means what? Actually, what happens in industry when we go for the subnetting, we are not doing it blindly. Maybe some organization is saying, I have a large subnet, please, I need 5 subnet. That means here the demand is number of subnet. That means we are subnetting a large network based on the number of subnet that organization need. But some organization is saying not like that. For my IT department, I need 50 hosts. For HR department, I need 20 hosts. For my marketing, I need 5 hosts. That means here company's demand is the number of hosts per subnet. That means here when we'll go for the subnetting, we will not follow the same rule what we have done with the FLSM. Am I clear? So that means what happens, sometimes the demand may be number of subnets and sometimes demand may be the number of hosts per subnet. So that's why I have written over there either total number of subnet required by the organization or the total number of host requirement per subnet by the organization. Clear? Okay. Now some very common terms I am telling you, that is first subnet. Actually, when a large network is divided into small networks, every small network is called as subnet. And every subnet is an individual network. Am I clear? Host belong to one subnet cannot communicate with the host belong to the different subnet. Is it? Next, what is CSM? Actually, when we go for the subnetting, we start with the class pool first. And at the time, what is the subnet mask? That is the default subnet mask. Clear? But the moment we do the subnetting, subnet mask is changed. Is it? So, when after subnetting, what is the newly generated subnet mask is coming, that we call as CSM. You see in this picture, I have started with what? /24. But after that, how much I have got? I have got /26. Have you seen? My subnet mask is changed. So that means what is CSM? Customized subnet mask. Customize what came from the customer. Customize means as per the requirement of the customer, how we are changing the subnet mask, then the newly generated subnet mask is called as CSM, customized subnet mask. Okay. Now, next is BS, that is block size. BS means block size. What is block size? The length of every subnet is called as the block size. Suppose here I am creating a subnet of 32. So here the block size of every subnet is 32. We call it as a block size or the increment or the length of the subnet. That means how many hosts can have in a single subnet is called the block size of the subnet. Am I clear? Because whenever we are doing the subnetting, of course, we are doing on the basis of some requirement. So an IT admin is designing a subnet with a fixed block size. Is it clear? So number of hosts per subnet is called the block size. We call it as increment, or we can say the length of the subnet. Next is the CIDR. What is CIDR? Classless inter-domain routing. What it is? Actually, what happens? Previously, it was classful, default subnet mask, but all of a sudden, world has transformed when there is a situation was coming lack of public IP of IPv4. So what they are doing? Just they are transforming their IP address allocation style from full to classless. The moment allocating IP address to the host network from the class full to classless, that concept is called as CIDR. And this concept also introduced by IETF in 1993. That means 1993, IETF developed this concept of CIDR. In this way, what happened? If we go for this CIDR way of assigning IP, we can save the IP, and we can say we can go for the proper utilization of the IP. Okay. Next is the prefix. What is prefix? I think you know we can write class AS/8, class BS/60, CS24. What this indicating? 8, that is number of network bit present in class A. 16 means number of network bits present in class B, and 24 means number of network bits present in class C. So this value is called as prefix. Prefix means number of network bits present in an IP address preceded by a slash is called as prefix. The moment after the slash, whatever the value we are writing over here, this value is called as the prefix. And its prefix indicates how many bits are in network for the given IP address. So you think if it is a 32-bit IP, you are getting the prefix network bits, then of course you know how much host bits are there. Is it clear? If my prefix is X, I know IP is of 32. That means my host bit is 32 minus X. Am I clear? That's why I have written over here. Prefix helps to find how many bits are in network and how many bits are in host. So this is the basic concept of subnetting. Just I have started. We have many miles to go. Don't think this is the last video of subnetting. This is the starting video of subnetting. In the next consecutive videos, I will show you the subnetting. And before going in depth of subnetting, I'll give you more ideas about this subnetting. But everyone, please be habituated with these terms like subnet, CSM, block size, CIDR, and prefix, because these terms we frequently use in subnetting. So end of the day, what is the conclusion? Subnetting is saving the public IP, improving the network performance, and maintaining the security in the network. So today up to this much. Thank you.